The disappearance of Malaysian Flight 370 is one of the worst aviation tragedies ever. The aircraft's exact location has eluded searchers for years. So, let's begin today's video. Welcome to my channel, Historical Studies. Before diving into the mysteries of history, there is a small reminder. If you are really interested in this kind of information, do not hesitate to subscribe to my channel and hit on the bell icon if you don't want to miss out on our new videos. What exactly happened to Flight MH370? Beginning of the mystery. The loss of Flight MH370 is still a mystery to many people since it looked like the plane vanished into thin air. What exactly happened to Flight MH370? Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370, a Boeing 777-200ER, took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport on March 8, 2014, destined for Beijing Capital International Airport. There were 12 staff members and 227 passengers on board. The journey seemed to be effortless, but it quickly turned into one of the greatest aviation mysteries ever. At 12:41 a.m. local time, the plane took off. The aircraft maintained contact with air traffic control and flew along the designated route. "Good night, Malaysian 370" was the last phrase said by the aircraft co-pilot. The plane's transponder, which connects with ground-based radar, was turned off or failed shortly after the last communication, which occurred at about 1:21 a.m. So, the aircraft was no longer able to be tracked by civilian radar. However, military radar continued to track MH370 as it deviated from its planned route. It turned west over the Malay Peninsula instead of heading north to Beijing. The aircraft's satellite communication systems continued to ping an Inmarsat satellite hourly even when the transponder was turned off. These pings did not include exact location information, but they showed that the aircraft was still powered and in the air. The last full handshake was at 8:11 a.m., suggesting the plane had been flying for nearly 7 hours after losing contact with air traffic control. One of the largest search and rescue missions in history occurred in response to the missing MH370. Initial efforts. MH370 was reported missing after the aircraft failed to touch down in Beijing. The South China Sea was the primary focus of the search because that's where civilian radar picked up the plane's signal on March 8, 2014. On March 9, 2014, after military radar data revealed the plane may have made a turn, authorities expanded the search area to include the Strait of Malacca. On March 12, 2014, the search area grew larger, extending to the Andaman Sea. A number of nations, including China, the US, and India, contributed ships, aircraft, and satellite imagery to the search operation. On March 16, 2014, after additional satellite data analysis, attention turned to the southern corridor. Potential debris was visible in satellite photographs from Australia, China, and France, but none of it was confirmed to be from Flight MH370. On March 24, 2014, according to new satellite research, the last known location of MH370 was west of Perth, Australia, in the middle of the Indian Ocean, according to Prime Minister Razak. He stated with deep regret that the flight ended in the southern Indian Ocean. On April 25, March 2014, ships and aircraft from numerous nations continued their search in the southern Indian Ocean. Numerous acoustic signals, probably from the planes, were found, but they did not lead to any significant discoveries. The search grew more active in April and the months that followed, with the use of underwater drones and advanced technology to explore the ocean floor. Even with all of these efforts, MH370 was still missing. Theories. However, after all of these attempts at solving the problem, it is still unclear where MH370 is now resting and what caused it to vanish. One of the most controversial and intriguing theories about the fate of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 is that it was a case of pilot suicide. The concept that the flight was hijacked is another. The plane's irregular flight path is one of the most convincing pieces of proof about the hijacking. After its last communication with air traffic control, MH370 made a series of unexpected turns, deviating significantly from its planned route to Beijing. These actions imply that someone in charge had a technical understanding of the aircraft system. In addition, the aircraft's two main communication systems were turned off or disabled within minutes of each other. This purposeful behavior indicates an effort to avoid detection of the aircraft from civilian radar and ground-based communication systems. There is another theory that is even more shocking. MH370 was accidentally shot down. How was MH370 able to be shot? Several nations were engaged in military exercises in the South China Sea and the Indian Ocean at the time of MH370's disappearance. It is possible that the plane was mistakenly considered to represent a threat. Findings. The scarcity of wreckage discovered is currently one of the mysteries surrounding MH370. If the jet had been shot down, particularly by an aircraft-destroying missile, it would have broken into several pieces, spreading debris over a large region. This scattering could make it more challenging to locate the main crash site, especially if it's underwater. The University of Western Australia, or UWA, sent a team of researchers to assist in the search for MH370's crash site. The researchers analyzed the debris and the signals from the flight using reverse drift modeling and a new airplane tracking tool. The team has used this method on 22 pieces of debris that have been identified as being from MH370 or are very likely to be. These consist of a flaperon, a wing component, and a cabin panel. However, there has been a recent report on the investigation led by British aviation engineer Richard Jeffrey into the disappearance of flight MH370. His investigation was documented in a 232-page report. The technology behind Jeffrey's approach is known as WhisperNet or Weak Signal Propagation Reporter Network. By analyzing the changes in signal strength and direction, Jeffrey was able to detect and track MH370 as it flew over the Indian Ocean. After losing communication with air traffic control, MH370 continued to fly for about 7 hours, according to Jeffrey's study. It traveled west over the Malay Peninsula for nearly 5,000 kilometers before turning south into the Indian Ocean. It crashed into the ocean on March 8, 2014, at a location of 30.57 degrees south and 98.75 degrees east. This is about 2,000 kilometers west of Perth, Australia, and about 1,000 kilometers north of the previous Jeffrey's research is a game-changing advancement for the finding of MH370. The families of those who lost on MH370, who have been looking for closure and answers for more than 7 years, have also praised Jeffrey's findings. Guys, that brings us to the end of this video. Thanks for being to the end of the video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and tell us what you think about this video below in the comment section.